Nicki Minaj going full MAGA. Yes, Nicki Minaj, the rapper who's been on a tirade as of late, now endorses her support for conservatism, MAGA. Now Nicki Minaj showing her support, went to the Turning Point USA event and sat down with Erica Kirk. And she was talking about a whole lot, talked about women's rights, talked about Governor Gavin Newsom, and a whole list of others. We get to the latest on the next edition of our Why Nicki Minaj Went MAGA. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this edition of Viral. I'm your host, as always, Kitch Dix here. Glad you joined us here on Viral. We talk about rapper Nicki Minaj goes MAGA. Yes, you heard what I said. Rapper Nicki Minaj goes MAGA. We'll talk about it coming up. But first thing first, join in the conversation using the hashtag Viral here on Connect. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe is caring. Tell a friend. Call a friend. Hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing. Here on Viral, we talk about rapper Nicki Minaj attended a Turning Point USA event, and she went full-fledged MAGA, sitting down with Erica Kirk, the wife of the widow of the slain conservative leader Charlie Kirk, who passed away months ago due to a gunshot wound. Ooh, so sorry to hear about that. Also, besides politics and stuff like that, no one shouldn't, get killed like that. But unalive, I meant to say, but it happened. But Erica Kirk sat down with Nicki Minaj, and Nicki Minaj expressed why she is MAGA, and she expressed her support for the Trump administration, including the president and the vice president. Let's hear some comments when Nicki Minaj talked about a whole lot, talked about why black women don't support white women, and a whole lot of stuff. Let's take a look. The highlights of the MAGA event.
I have the utmost respect and admiration for our president. He has, I don't know if he even knows this, but he's given so many people hope that there's a chance to beat the bad guys and to win and to do it with your head held high and your integrity intact. He's from Queens, New York, like me. So, but what it's shown me personally is sometimes, even in the worst feeling times in your life, you think that you're never going to come back from it. But you do. And our president shows that. He's been through every single thing a person could be through publicly. Having to constantly be lied on. It's not really that funny. Until you are in that person's shoes that's being lied on, you'll never understand what it feels like. That person is a human being. They have a family who has to read those lies. And that's not, and it's just not fair. Oh, Gabby Poo, it only gets worse from here for you, buddy. It's the end of the road for you, my love. Get on the nearest jet ski and let that beautiful hair blow in the wind. It'll make you happier than this race that you will not win. Enjoy life. Peace.
Okay. One more. Why
not? Imagine being the guy running on wanting to see trans kids. Haha, not even a trans adult would run on that. Normal adults wake up and think they want to see healthy, safe, happy kids. Not Gav. The Gav nots. Gav not in, Gav out. Send in the next guy. I'm bored.
So I'm just going to let you riff. Like, I want you to say whatever you want to say to Mr. Newsom.
Dear Newscum, we don't have a problem cleaning up the scum if we have to. Please tread lightly. That's what I would say to Gabby Poo. I've performed for huge crowds all around the world. And no matter how many songs I do on that stage, it didn't mean as much as this. Because this is a direct link for younger people. This is a direct link between young people and God.
All right, you saw right there Nicki Minaj showing her full-fledged support of being MAGA. Couldn't believe it. I never would have thought Nicki Minaj would go that way with church and state, with politics mixed in, but she did. Well, let's hear from our inside, Bob Evans. He got the latest inside scoop on why Nicki Minaj decided to go full-fledged MAGA. Take it away, Bob.
I'm Bob Evans, your viral insider. Nicki Minaj is once again at the center of controversy. But this time, it's not about music. The rap icon appeared on Turning Point USA, sitting down with Eric Kirk to discuss why women attack each other online and how racial and political lines are shaping today's culture wars. What followed was instant backlash, heated debate, and one question flooding social media. Has Nicki Minaj crossed a line? Some fans say she's speaking her truth. Others claim she's pandering, or worse, selling out. As the conversation explodes, it collides with a wider political moment. Donald Trump is back in the headlines, stirring controversy once again, including talk surrounding the Kennedy Center and his growing influence in culture and media. With Christmas approaching and tensions running high, celebrity, politics, and identity are colliding in real time. So what's really going on, and why does it matter? We break it all down. This is Viral on Connect TV.
Thank you, Bob, for that informative insight of Nicki Minaj going MAGA. Nicki Minaj now the new poster child MAGA. Let's just hope she knows what she's doing. And a lot of people are saying she has interior motives doing what she's doing. She's trying to clear up her record or clear up her husband's record to get a pardon, so they won't have all that stuff. So, and for protection. So we seeing a lot from Nicki Minaj. All right, people, let's hear from what you people had to say. You people had a lot to say on what the people say. Let's look back on what you said about Nicki Minaj going MAGA.
I feel like we have to start having the conversation that whatever that weirdo Eric Kirk is doing in America right now is a big fat cult. Because what do you mean? You've got Nicki Minaj, who first of all has multiple songs about getting her ass eaten, is on stage at whatever this weirdo event is, being transphobic as shit. Has she forgotten that she was a guest judge on RuPaul's Drag Race on the season that was all about the 2020 election? Are you for real? Not to mention that most of her fans are LGBT. We made you, love! Oi! Grow up, Nicki Minaj. Fuming at you.
Okay, did Nicki Minaj delete her Instagram? Because I just saw this interview that she was doing and I went to go and follow her. Not that she cares that I follow her, and also not that I unfollow people just because they don't stand on the same political side as I do. I know a lot of people agree with that. I don't necessarily. I'm from Texas. I would have to unfollow like half my high school cheerleading squad, but I digress. The point is, I went to go and follow her, and her Instagram may or may not exist. And I have been blocked by celebrities before, so I just am like, am I blocked or did she get off of Instagram? Help.
Nicki Minaj is MAGA. She supports Trump.
Does not support Trump. You don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, then why was she at the Turning Point USA conference?
There you go, lying on the queen. She wasn't even
Roll
there.
the clip.
This one is for the boys in the power.
Amazing role models like our handsome, dashing president.
Yeah.
And you have amazing role models like the assassin J.D. Vance, our vice president.
And before y'all say, oh no, it's because she be playing with her nose, there's tons of people that are on that booger sugar that do not turn into white supremacists and don't hang out with white supremacists. Because if you go into a Turning Point USA conference, you hanging out with people that are white supremacists. And remember, white supremacy is a multinational ideology. You can look like me, you could be as pale as this piece of paper right here. It is a multinational ideology, okay? Not only did she call Trump handsome, I don't know, something wrong with her eyes, okay? But then she endorsed J.D. Vance for 2028. What does that make her?
We haven't seen a celebrity flip the script like this in quite some time. Nicki Minaj is at the Turning Point USA event. Republican activist Nicki Minaj was the special guest today at Turning Point USA, and she went up on stage and talked about how much admiration she had for Donald Trump. Nicki took the stage with Eric Kirk hand in hand while her music was playing at the Turning Point USA event. Erica Kirk asked her when she knew it was time to switch sides, and Nicki Minaj said that she was tired of being pushed around, and now resurfaced clips of Nicki Minaj are showing her saying that she thinks that her fans would not love her if they knew the real her. So a lot of people were saying that she was insinuating to her being a Republican a long time ago. Nicki is saying that she's not going to back down now. She's not going to back down ever. This is her new life, and this is who she is, regardless of what the fans are saying. Longtime Barbs are curious as to how she's supporting Turning Point USA, as to how she's a Republican, essentially, when a majority of her fans are LGBTQ+. And when Erica asked her what she felt about her newly disgruntled fans, Nicki Minaj literally said they are not disgruntled with me, they are disgruntled with themselves.
Everybody wants me to talk about Nicki Minaj going to Turning Point USA, which is like conservative heaven for these people. And I'm just confused on what y'all want me to say. The Democrats had Megan Thee Stallion up on stage twerking at a campaign presidential rally, but y'all mad at Nicki Minaj for going and speaking at a conservative rally? Mind you, this is the same government, the same Democratic government that didn't care about the fact that Nicki Minaj's home was swatted more than 2 times over a prank call in LA, but that was alright. But y'all want her to sit here and go to bat for Democrats when y'all wouldn't even go to bat for her when her own industry has turned their backs on her for Barney B, and y'all expect Nicki Minaj to care about anything that y'all saying? Nicki Minaj is supposed to be canceled, but she just went #1 on iTunes with a 15-year-old song, but she's canceled. This is why I always say you have to know how to separate what exactly you love a person for. I love Nicki Minaj for her music. I could give a damn about what Nicki Minaj feels politically. Her political beliefs have nothing to do with me. If that's the case, I would have no friends because everybody thinks differently. We all do not think the same. And it's crazy that the media always tries to spin the narrative when it comes to Nicki Minaj. And that's why the barbs go so hard, because if y'all simply told the truth, if y'all simply just said y'all don't like Nicki Minaj because y'all don't like Nicki Minaj, then maybe the barbs would accept y'all opinions. But instead, y'all tell lies. And then you got people like Ebro and other celebrities that come out and say, when did Nicki Minaj be so political? When did Nicki Minaj da-da-da-da-da-da-da? Saying that Nicki Minaj looked a mess when she was doing all of this, right? But like Charlie Kirk said 4 years ago, Democrats' treatment of Nicki Minaj should be all the proof that you need that they don't care about black people, especially those they can't control. They just use them every 4 years for their votes, but people are waking up. Where was this energy when Beyonce and Jay-Z was sitting with Ivanka Trump and the conservatives at that meeting? Where was this energy at? There was no question about when did they become political. There was no question about, oh, they working with conservatives. There's no question about the fact that Jay-Z brings down the black people in order to uplift white people, in order to make sure that he has money in his pockets. Nobody talks about that or care about that, but because it's Nicki Minaj, now it's headlines. Like Tasha K said, I love that Nicki Minaj is not on stage shaking ass. That's what y'all want her to be doing. Y'all want her to be on stage shaking ass. And Nicki Minaj is not one of them girls. She's smart. She's powerful. Trust me, Nicki Minaj knows what she's doing because y'all said she's canceled, but she just went #1 on iTunes. How she canceled and her music is still selling?
Nicki Minaj is a hypocrite.
People are being kidnapped, people are being killed, brutalized, while they're in church, all because of their religion. And that should spark outrage in the great America. We are not going to be silenced by the bullies anymore, okay? Hear that. Receive that, bullies. We will speak up for Christians wherever they are in this world.
Today, Nicki Minaj pulled up on that whole Turning Point USA thing with Eric Kirk, and she's just regurgitating whatever Massa wants her to say. She had a lot of All Lives Matter rhetoric and many opinions with no basis behind it. It felt very Kanye. It's just hypocritical to talk about people being taken and kidnapped while that's literally being encouraged by the people you're shucking and jiving for. Nicki Minaj said that she'll speak up for Christians no matter where they are in this world, but what about these Christians?
Authorities targeted places of faith, and the immigrant church community is still feeling the aftershocks.
We heard the news about ICE, but we say this is a safety place, and we're not doing nothing. We are not criminals.
Faith leaders say ICE agents displayed aggressive tactics, frightening their congregations. Many immigrant churches stopped holding services for weeks, as some 30,000 children also reportedly stayed home from school. Pastor Victor Ramirez says ICE agents moved in unexpectedly, causing some members to head into the woods while others hid inside for safety. Terrified children watched and others held on to them as ICE agents detained an El Salvadorian church member. They deported him 10 days later, leaving behind his wife and adult children.
I understand the ICE has to find criminals. I understand that and I agree with that, but it's not a criminal.
This is a church. This is church. I feel like this topic is extremely relevant when it comes to Nicki Minaj because isn't Nicki Minaj an immigrant? She's not a U.S. citizen. You could look this up. Matter of fact, let me do it for you. Quick Google search I wrote, is Nicki Minaj a U.S. citizen? And AI overview says, no, Nicki Minaj is not a U.S. citizen. She is a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago and moved to New York City as a child, remaining a non-citizen despite living and paying substantial taxes in U.S. for decades and has spoken publicly about her immigration status and experiences. Current status, it says she has stated she is not a U.S. citizen even after years of living in the country and paying millions in taxes and has expressed a desire for citizenship or honorary citizenship. Why do I feel like she's playing the game to finally get citizenship? One thing I could say about Nicki Minaj is that she sold so many records that it shouldn't be surprising that she sold out.
So an old clip of Charlie Kirk talking about how he really feels about Nicki Minaj has resurfaced. And I just know this is so embarrassing. It's so embarrassing.
Okay, Nicki Minaj is causing dads to leave the home.
Hold on a second. I don't think that's a good role model for 18-year-old black girls. I don't think that songs that are talking about like glorifying wet female genitalia is exactly, I don't know which one wrote that song. Which one was it?
I think it was Ben Shapiro.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but
first of all, how you don't know the difference between Nicki Minaj and Cardi B? It's very much giving me all black people. You know what? I just want to know who's on the team. Who is on this lady's team? Because nobody didn't think to look up what possibly might have been said about her by the platform she's going on. Like, where's the people that's supposed to be around her? The only way I could describe how I feel about this whole debacle is secondhand embarrassment. That's the only way I can describe it. Me personally, I don't know how y'all feeling, but for me,
Nicki. Like, there's no coming back from it. There's no coming back from this, Nicki. Like, and it's so sad. It's so sad, Nicki. I'm not one. Let me preface by saying this. I'm not one of those delusional ass barbs that be online trying to defend everything she does. That ain't never been me. But you know, millennials have a special place in their heart for Nicki. I remember the Come Up DVD. I remember you on 106 in Park with 5 Star Chick. I remember how motherfuckers was in college, high school with Itty Bitty Piggy. Like, I remember the album dropping. Like, Nicki, like, all the features when you was just like, Nicki, I have a special place in my heart for you. But, like, Nicki, why would you, like, you basically just saying fuck everybody, like, fuck most of your fan base. If you still, like, supporting her, you delusional. You're delusional as fuck, actually. Get help.
When somebody tells you who they are, you should believe them. And Nicki Minaj told y'all who she was, not once, not twice, not 3 times, a lot of times. And this time with a megaphone. Can y'all hear her now? I was not surprised to see that Nicki Minaj turned up at Turning Point USA, cozying up to white supremacy. And she's telling young men all across America, don't be like Gavin Newsom, be like Donald Trump. None of that surprises me. Of course she wants young men to be like Donald Trump. because they would be more like her husband and her brother. I told y'all a long time ago about her and her fan base. Her fan base got more MAGA energy than a Bass Pro Shop parking lot. And stop pretending this is new behavior, because y'all already know Nicki has done a lot of deplorable stuff. Did y'all forget about her mocking the victim? This is survival politics with a lace front. That's what this is. And I keep telling you, she's an immigrant. And some immigrants, when they come here, they want to lay in bed with white supremacy, but then they want to sell their product to Black America. Y'all need to remember. So when she come up out that Crypt Keeper hole and she want to sell those raggedy ass albums, y'all need to remind her who she was in bed with. I just wonder how many times platinum could Turning Point actually take any of her projects. Nicki Minaj is not like us. She never was.
Writing has been on the wall for a while when it comes to Nicki Minaj and MAGA. If you look at it, as recent as a few months ago when she got into it with TDE, SZA's management, it was that Senator Luna, the Republican Senator Luna, that reached out to her and said if she felt like she had any issues to contact her. Prior to that, Nicki had issues with the vaccination and got into an argument with Elizabeth Warren, and she caught a lot of beef from the Democratic Party because of that. We've also seen clearly, her rivals, Cardi B, Meg Thee Stallion, Jay-Z and them be more than received by the Democratic Party, and it's very weird to see how Nicki and Kanye, who both were kind of excluded from the Democratic Party, have gone this way, because even Obama disrespected Kanye and then he just totally flipped, and now we see Nicki Minaj kind of being isolated by the Democrats, and here she is also being MAGA now. We also know Nicki is close friends with Amber Rose, and we see how Amber Rose was politically affiliated this last election. Clearly, the Barbs are not able to give her something that this political party can give her in terms of protection. I'm sure that Republican Lunar, probably connected her to some people that she felt like I'm thinking that she feels like can protect her legally with her husband. These people, 20 years later, damn near violating him for not registering in California, which he probably thinks is connected to some type of Democratic person in California. And now, his freedom just always being at risk for just, if he gets violated. So I think there's a lot of dynamics at play. I'm still disappointed. But yeah, I think there's a lot going on behind the scenes.
Stop the press. You're telling me Onika is at Turning Point USA? Bitch, didn't you say that I wanted white validation? Remember when you was jumping up on your little podcast, your little radio, Queen Radio, and all that, you're at Turning Point USA? Bitch. Oh, nigga. Why you do that 180? No, because it's kind of funny, isn't it? I just gotta think about the time when Onika really sat there and said that. But we're not surprised. I mean, you like pedophiles. I mean, right or wrong, right? Am I right or wrong? They live in your house, apparently. So I'm not surprised by this at all. That's what I was trying to tell people.
You people felt disapproved that Nicki Minaj is going MAGA. None of y'all approved it. Some of y'all turned your backs. We know Nicki Minaj was talking about the LGBTQ, and that's normal her fan base. I don't know why she's turning against her fan base, but hey, she better knows what she's doing. But Nicki Minaj ruffling a lot of feathers that she's been doing lately, and hopefully she knows what she's up to and doing. But we'll keep a real close eye on why Nicki Minaj turned full-fledged MAGA. Hopefully she's doing it for the right reasons and not for the wrong reasons. Thank you for watching this edition of Viral. I've been your host, Kendrick Dick, saying so long. We'll see you next time for another edition of Viral.